Hello and welcome back to my weekly update on the financial markets. We will cover, like always, the S&P 500 index, US oil, gold and Bitcoin, and analyze it via price action. I'm two days late with my video. I had no time during the weekend, sorry for that, but let's start anyways with the weekly time frame and the S&P 500. Here on the S&P 500 index, you can see on the weekly that we had a divergence from price to MACD. MACD was falling, prices have been rising. That normally ends in a correction, like back in the days here, 2022 at the beginning. We have seen the divergence also in the MACD indicator. What followed was a massive correction. I copied the past correction to the actual scenario, and so far it aligned pretty well. We will see how far it will follow the exact same way. Let's drop down one time frame lower to the daily time frame. Here you can see my last trade, which went into profit because I have seen that price was pretty much extended to the downside, and that MACD also crossed to the upside and a little bit earlier on the lower time frame, the 4-hour time frame. So it was time for me to set up a small long trade with 1.1 risk-reward ratio and trade the bounce to the upside, even if I'm on the long term here prepared for further declining prices for the index, and I'm absolutely ready to go short if it gets necessary. If we drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that the short-term 4-hour downtrend line got broken to the upside, and it can also continue, maybe smaller resets and then continuation higher, but I would expect it at least at the 200 moving average here, or from the decline measured with the Fibonacci tool, that it will bounce at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement again to the lower side, what would pretty much align with the behavior of the last major correction. And I said already last update I will probably would like to open up a short position around this area with a stop loss above the last all-time high, with the profit target at the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level. Here this one, so around 5,100 points in the index, and I would probably increase even this position if we see a clean break of this bounce here to the upside to the lower side. But I will inform you about the details if it happens, probably next weekend or slightly before, maybe slightly after, because I'm starting a travel vacation per plane. I don't know when I come to my workstation again and be able to record a video for you. Yeah, that's it for S&P 500 index. Let's switch one thing before we switch, maybe my account history here, so you can see the trade I was only risking on this bounce back to the upside 0.5% of my capital, and so I also gained only 0.5% on my capital, but nearly $600. Nice. Let's switch to US oil. US oil long term here, you can see that the red Monday downward line got broken to the upside. Since then we went into a correction to retest that one, and since a couple of weeks or even years since then we have not been able to leave this range here to the downside, and that's also my hope this time. We broke the weekly downtrend to the upside, but since then we never really have seen a major pull to the upside, so leaving that range to the upside. Instead we got this triangle formation and broke it down to the downside, out to the downside, retested it, but we haven't been able to break lower here. We had a couple of support zones here around this area. Then I thought maybe here the breakout, but no, we crashed right back down. But now we are again in this major support zone where price bounced back to the upside a couple of times in the past, and because of that I'm at the moment also in a small long position, because I'm betting that that will repeat itself again. If we drop down one time frame lower to the daily time frame, you can see that the daily white solid downward line is broken to the upside. We have seen a cross in the MACD on the daily to the upside, which is a bullish sign. We have left behind on the rising path here of this price, this support zone here. We left it to the upside, so that would get now support for price if we come back down lower. Maybe we'll see now a correction, before then continuing to the upside. But we also got this major daily support and resistance zone here, so I placed my take profit slightly below that, and yeah, I entered the long position, and my stop loss would be the last low, but you can see it better on the forward time frame. Here, like I said, the break of the daily downtrend to the upside. We have seen here a bottoming formation, a breakout, a retest, then not fully a breakout, and we finally have been able to make here a new higher high and got above this resistance zone here, drawn in blue dotted. That for me was a sign you could maybe take a long position here in oil with a stop loss below the last major low, at least at the forward time frame, and with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, because it's not the best risk reward ratio, only risking 0.5% of my account balance. Yeah, maybe we'll see a slightly huger pullback, maybe an ABC pattern to the downside before then continuing higher. If that ain't the case, I will get stopped out for a small loss. It's okay for me. But yeah, it looks good at the weekly, the daily and forward time frame for a long position with the at the moment rising S&P 500 index. That aligns pretty well. Yeah, that's it for US oil. Let's switch to gold. Yeah, gold at the weekly time frame looks absolutely astonishing. We had such a hard time breaking higher on this weekly resistance zone here, but then we finally have been able to break higher, and since then one massive impulse followed by a small correction after another. And yeah, last week we reached $3,000 per ounce, historic moment. And yeah, maybe it's time for a cool down in price for gold, and because of that I'm in a short position, and I explain you why at the lower time frames. On the daily time frame, you can see that I was able to draw in here a daily wide solid uptrend line, which is holding pretty well. And if you copy that one and put it to the highs of this movement, you got a parallel line, so a price channel. These price channels often act as resistance for price or support, and because of that I have seen that the Fibonacci retracement tool from the measured from low to the high here of this movement was at the 0.272 Fibonacci retracement, which is often a good point to take profits in a trade, and it was aligning with this upper band of the price channel. So I thought maybe there could happen a smaller pullback that I can take advantage of with a small short trade. We'll see if that plays out, risking again only a small amount, 0.5% of my account balance. And if we drop one time from lower, you can see that we had also a risk reward ratio of 1-to-1. So yeah, a small dip is expected, not a huge major correction. I only would think about going short in a huger style if we see a break of this daily dotted secondary uptrend line, but at the moment that ain't the case. So the trend is your friend, and at the moment the trend is still up. This is a small speculation on a cool down and pullback before continuation of this major uptrend. Do I want to get in if we retest this secondary daily uptrend line with a long position again? I don't know yet. At the moment for me the price has run a little bit hot, so I don't think that there's so much room for me for a long position. I keep watching and inform you if I got anything new for you in gold. That's it for gold. Let's switch to Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the weekly time frame also, where each candle represents 1 week of a price action. We had a nice uptrend here with higher highs and higher lows, and that's still intact. Maybe you could say that here the lower low got taken out to create an even lower low, and yeah, that would mean that the uptrend is over. But we have seen similar scenarios here, and that was a large correction before continuation higher. So I hope for a similar situation here, or I expect a similar situation, because we are in the last year of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, and normally the last year is the most extended to the upside, the most bullish one. So yeah, statistically it's the most likely scenario that we will see another pull to the upside and new all-time highs. So I've been preparing myself for that. If we drop down to the daily time frame, let's take out that arrow on the weekly that's too much. Yes. Yeah, you can see we have been broken out of this price channel. We reached $100,000 per Bitcoin, went into a sideways consolidation, broke that sideways consolidation to the downside, retested it and broke down lower. We have even broken the 200 moving daily average, which is a significant indicator for market participants. But since then, we are riding again prices higher, but so far we stayed below this daily secondary downtrend line and below this daily resistance zone. Back in the days it was support, now it turned resistance. If I would see break above that one, break above this daily downtrend line and this support zone, a pullback and a break of the pullback to the upside, that would be a really nice setup I would take for a long trade and ride prices higher to the last all-time high or probably even higher. So, until then, I'm not really interested in taking any position here because my main view stays bullish for this cycle. You could argue if we drop one time frame lower that if this for support or uptrend line gets broken to the downside, that could also be a nice short trade setup. And indeed it could, if you got a good risk reward ratio and you're in for the short term here, that could be a good tradable situation. I don't know yet if I want to do it, but I will inform you like always in my next weekly report. Long scenario, if we see a break, a retest, the break of the retest to the upside, I would definitely go long on Bitcoin, and maybe I will even short it for a small take profit here, not that far of a distance, because it looks pretty much to me like a bottom. We will see. That's it for my weekly update. Again, sorry for being a little bit late here. That can happen, and you will hopefully hear me soon again. Bye bye. Have a good one.